So the sun's just come out, so I thought I'll take you out and show you what's happening in the kitchen garden. So most of the action at the moment is actually on the allotments, under the coal frames and the low tunnels and the big polytunnel. But there's still some useful stuff growing out in the kitchen garden, actually quite a nice amount of abundance, and we'll certainly be starting to harvest quite a lot of it over the next 3 or 4 months. And there's also a bit going on under the grow lights and a little bit growing in the conservatory, so let me take you around. Okay, so let's take a quick look round. I've just done the path clear on all the paths and the patio and everything, so there's quite a lot of green algae starting to build up on it. Some nice little kales. These are coming on really lovely now. These are the corn salads, lamb's lettuce. These are almost ready to pick. These are all golden beetroot and they're a good size. You can see now the leaves are starting to go. We've had a few frosts. It's not damaged the beetroots at all, they're still fine. But by the end of this year we'll have to take all those up. These are the spring cabbages, looking pretty lovely. Some of them are even starting to heart up. A little bit of slug damage on them, but it's not too bad. Some more nice kales. These are spring onions, starting to pick up nicely now. Most of our spring onions are on the allotment under cover, but I've got a few in here, and these are all interplanted with garlic, and that garlic is all starting to come up now, which is really nice to see. And of course the spring onions will be harvested before they interfere with the garlic. Started clearing the summer kales that are in this bed. Just got a couple of left here. And this is now planted all with broad beans, still waiting for those to come up. And the perennial kales are looking great. I've just got a little sort of pathway around the back there, so I can harvest the perennial kales without getting in the way of the broad beans. So they're sort of in this swathe around there. And I probably mentioned on the last tour of the garden that all the raspberries are all cut back and tied in. These are all summer fruiters, so they fruit on this year's growth. And all of the strawberries are also cut back and given them a bit of fertiliser, just some bloodfish and bone, and just mulch them with spent potato compost. Nothing's really happening with the blueberries. Nothing's really happening over there. So let's take a look down here. I've given the lawn its last cut, actually only last week, so it's fairly trim, nice and neat. Some more nice kales here, and some colettes that are starting to finally do something. They're looking actually quite good. And there's 2 different varieties here, so these are further behind, the purpley ones. And I moved all of these leeks from Jennie's plot on the allotment because we're giving that up at the end of the year. And so, yeah, I just transplanted them all, and they're looking great. And they seem to have transplanted fine. I've actually got garlic all through here as well. I've got some little spinach plants underneath here. I guess the best that can be said of those is they're surviving. And I think I did give you a comparison between these spinach plants and the ones that were planted at the same time on the allotment. And I'll repeat that comparison. So these are the ones on the allotment. and don't they look nice by comparison? Makes a big difference having that polythene cover. And last time I wasn't very happy with these mine lettuce, but actually they're starting to shape up quite nice now, so not too bad. They'll be ready for harvest really, certainly in January. And then we've got loads and loads of salad rocket, and one plant starting to go to seed there. And then these are the spring cabbages that I transplanted from the other bed that we've just seen. And these are doing really nice. They're transplanted really well, and now perhaps a little bit further behind. And actually I've just seen here what's eating these leaves. Oops, nearly fell over there. Still got caterpillars. Anyway, quite happy with those. And I've got lots of garlic. It's all starting to come up now. I think on the last tour very little of it was visible, but now most of these containers you can see there's loads of garlic coming up. And I've got a few turnips down here, and I harvested the last few potatoes and things, and all those are in store now. And so I've planted garlic in all of these as well. Now I know all this garlic won't grow to maturity before I need these containers again for the potatoes and the tomatoes, but I can harvest it green, and we really like it green, so that's no problem. So there we go, that is the back garden. Inside in the conservatory we've got some microgreens. These are white cabbage. These are peas. These are a mix of white cabbage and red cabbage. And I got a little fan up there that's keeping the air moving around, so I don't get any problems with damp or moulds and things on them. Got a few spare garlic plants there, doing quite nicely. And then in my workshop under lights, I've got some nice little lettuces coming on well. These are spares. These are Marvel of All Seasons, and these are Navara. And obviously these won't be ready for a while, but they should be ready for spring, which is when I'll need them. And then down here I've got some Cabbages Marathon. They're coming on quite nicely. I only sowed those, well, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then these are all lovely little sprout plants, so I'll be pricking those out fairly soon. And we really love growing sprouts for leaves in the Hungry Gap, and so that's what those are there for. And that's just a tray that I pricked those salads out from, and those Cabbages out from. And I've saved them just in case I need any for spares, but as you can see, everything looks just fine. I'll be moving these into the conservatory in about a week's time. I like to wait until they've got a reasonable amount of leaf area, because it's quite warm in the conservatory and there's not quite as much light, and so the plants need a good amount of leaf to absorb the slightly lower light levels that we've got in there. Otherwise they just get a bit leggy, because there's too much warmth and not enough light. But once you get a decent amount of leaf area, then there is enough light for the amount of warmth. So that's the kind of trick with grow lights. Keep them cool with lots of light until you get a decent amount of leaf area, and that's the same down here with these Cabbages. They need a bit more leaf area, so they'll grow on cool in here for a while. So I hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve, this is a Seaside Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.